I don't really know how to start this video. My name is Alexandra Datman and I'm a singer, songwriter, human. And for 2025 I decided that I wanted to document my journey just as an artist and as a human being again. So I decided to start my very first video by doing a book review of my 2024 books that I've read. So what I love doing after a year is looking back into my bullet journal and just look at everything that I've done, because I write a lot of things in it. It's kind of my brain actually, and I've been doing this since I was 17 and it's saving my life every time. What I love doing in it is writing down the book that I've read. Can you see it? Approximately like 14 books, which is actually a lot for me because I'm not a big reader. I read when I have time. For 2024 I've been mostly on tour. That's why I've had a lot of time reading. I don't know how 2025 is going to be, but I can only hope that it's gonna be full of wonderful things and a lot of reading as well. But I really hope that I will finally be able to put something out in the world. Read a lot of books. So this is CUL-SEC et Chantilly. This is a French one. I translated it and it goes like bottoms up and whipped cream. And it's from Carla. The thing that is funny is that my very first book of 2024 was my Christmas book from 2023. So I was very late in my reading. So the story is about Salome, who dreams of being a great reporter. The thing is that she's very tired of doing street interviews. She would like to just have a good subject to work on. One day she gets an anonymous message about the mayor embezzling money for his personal use. This money is supposed to be for the children's presents for Christmas. So Salome decides to investigate, because this is definitely not right if that's the truth. And she meets James, who is the City Hall press secretary. He doesn't want to help her because he believes that the mayor is innocent. But Salome is determined to expose the truth right before Christmas. And so the whole story is about that. Of course, this is romance, so I'm not gonna tell you a lot, but you should definitely read it if you're in a Christmas mood right before like Christmas, New Year. I really loved it because it's not only about romance. There's a whole plot. Bottoms ups and whipped cream. The second book that I've read is The Woman in Me by Britney Spears. And that was actually a great read. I was truly waiting on this one. Actually, I waited a little bit to get it because it was quite expensive. And also, I didn't want a hardcover. I wanted something soft that I could bring in my bag. Britney Spears wrote this book right after getting free. So this is actually a book about a whole career and how she felt during some situations that we know about. What I really loved is that this is her words. It's not somebody else telling you about her behavior, it's just her. She explains everything, her career, the story with her father. She explains some situations that we never heard from her point of view, which is really great, because I feel like we've heard a lot of Britney. It's always somebody else talking about the situation, so I thought it was really great, and I had a really great time reading this one. That was a great read, and I can only recommend. So yeah, also, if anybody's wondering why my English is not perfect, it's because I'm French. And if you're wondering why am I speaking in English, well, I guess I just want my audience to be bigger than just France. And I want people watching from other countries to actually understand what I'm saying. I guess it's just a part of me being Delulu. I have great plans for me in the future. I just guess it's a part of believing in myself. The third one is The Love Hypothesis by Hazelwood. Actually, I really love all of her books. I think they're really great and I'm always having a good time reading her books. This is Enemies to Lovers, and we love that. We're following Olive, who is a third-year biology PhD student at Stanford. She is trying to convince her BFF that her love life is going great, which is not the case. So she kisses the first one she sees, who is Adam Carson. He's a professor He is very well known for being rude and unpleasant around people. She starts fake dating him. Yeah, we know how this goes anyway. This is enemies to lovers. I really loved it. And yeah, this one is a really good one. This is Hotel Magnifique by Emily J. Taylor. And this is actually probably one of my best read of 2024. Actually, it's my best friend who told me to read it because she really loved it. She reads a lot, probably more than me. So the story is about a hotel that appears every 10 years in a little city. It's full of luxury, it's very rich. It's kind of a like luxury hotel. Everybody wants to go there, everybody wants to work there. We're following Jenny, who is actually living in a small misery and she's trying to get a job with her sister Rosa, and they get the job despite the warnings of Val, the doorman. And so they start working there. The thing is that once they arrive at the hotel, they get separated, and Jenny doesn't know where Rosa is, despite the fact that she's always in the hotel, but she never sees Rosa. So that's odd. And she notices that there's something very strange about this hotel, something very dark that Jenny is going to try to discover. Yeah, I can only recommend. And also, can we talk about this cover? It's amazing. Next one that I read is Maybe Someday by Colleen Hoover. I love her. I love her as well. I've read It Ends With Us. I've read lots of books from her. She never misses. I mean, she's amazing, and I've really loved this one. It was really surprising. I really had a great time. We're following Sydney, who's 22. She has a perfect life. She's got interesting studies, perfect boyfriend, perfect best friend. She has an apartment, which is great. But one day, she learns that her two favorite people betrayed her. Her boyfriend cheated on her with a best friend. So she decides to leave everything and start to talk to the neighbor, who happens to play guitar on the balcony right in front of her. The whole book is about how love can be more complicated than it seems, that it looks. Actually, that was really a beautiful love story. And I'm just gonna say one thing: love is way more than just words. And I'm gonna leave you with that. My next one was definitely one of my best read as well. So this is The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, and this is by Taylor Jenkins Reid. So the story is about Evelyn Hugo, who was a huge star in the 50s, like in the golden age of Hollywood. She's finally ready to tell her story, and she chooses an unknown magazine reporter, who is Monique Grant, to write a story. Everybody's kind of jealous, and so Monique starts coming very often to Evelyn's house. The whole book is about, she's telling a story, her friendships, her loves, her 7 husbands, of course, let's not forget about that. The price of fame as well. Loved it. The next one is The Fine Print by Lauren Asher. So we're following Zara, who is an employee in the amusement park called Dreamland, which is owned by the Kane family, which is a very powerful family. Zara's dream is to become a creator for Dreamland's future. Under the influence of alcohol, she accidentally sends her drunken and critical proposal for the annual employee submissions about sharing ideas how to improve the park. So she's completely panicked and she thinks that she's gonna be fired, but instead she gets hired to be in the creator team, her dream. And so she meets Rowan, who is the youngest of the Kane brothers, who is also described as a cold man who has no heart by the employees. He is also the CEO of Dreamland. Zara is going to drive him a little bit crazy. The whole book is about enemies to lovers and love and dark secrets as well. I really loved it, but I think it was at a point in my readings where I've had a lot of romance, so I needed something else, and that was a romance, so maybe I should have read something else. But it was still a great read. Fine Print. The next one is Sauvage. This is a French book by Nathalie Bernard. This is about residential schools, about Native American people in Quebec, in which their main goal was to destroy all the Indian American part of them. And this is historical, it really happened, and I had no idea as a European person that this happened. I never learned it in school. So I was really shocked when I heard about that. Well, actually, I'm not really shocked about anything else in the world anymore, but I was really shocked to read it, and it was a great read. It was a really sad read. We're following Jonas, who is 16, and who will be able to come home in 2 months and reunite with his mother because they took him away from her when he was little. And in this residential school, there is this priest who they call the Snake, who is very mean with them, and everybody, like the whole staff in the school, is very mean to them. One day, Jonas witnesses something terrible and commits something unforgettable, and he decides to run away with a friend. He's being tracked down. So it's about, will he be free? Will he be killed? During my read, I was really afraid and scared for Jonas. I really wanted him to see his mother again, to be free. You have to be careful if you read this. You have to be ready to read things that are terrible. Yeah, we got a lot of trigger warnings in it. So the next one is People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. I mean, her books are perfect for vacation reading. I've read Beach Read last year, and that was amazing as well. I really loved it. This is a Friends to Lovers, kind of. And so we're following Poppy and Alex, who's been best friends for 10 years. For 10 years, they've been going on vacation for 1 week every year because they're living very far from each other. They just have this 1 week in the whole year for 10 years, just going on vacation and having fun. The thing is that 2 years ago, something happened and they stopped talking. After being best friends for 10 years, they stopped talking. We're following Poppy, who has her dream job. She's having everything she wants, but somehow she feels stuck. And she remembers that the only time she felt truly happy was with Alex. And so she decides to send him a text saying, do you want to go on vacation? After 2 years not talking, and he says yes. So she has 1 week to fix everything. God knows what could happen. That was a great read. I really loved it. I've read it during summer, and I can only recommend to read her books when you're on vacation, when, I don't know, you're at the beach, having the sun on you. This is the best feeling. So the next one is a French one, and this is The Office of Occult Affairs, which I really hope will be translated in English because I really wish you guys could read it. It's only in French for now, but this is probably one of my favorite sagas. It's by Eric Fouassier. This is the third one, and it's called The Nights of the Blue Scare. I recommend that you read the 2 first ones. This is the third one. We are in spring 1832 in Paris. And there is a cholera epidemic, and we call it the Blue Scare. There is this strange coincidence. There are a series of murders in the city, and the victims are people about to pass away because of cholera. And when they get discovered, they have organs missing. We are following Inspector Valentin Verne, who investigates on the curious case with his partner Aglaé. It was really a great read. My biggest wish right now would be that it would be translated in English because it deserves a lot of appreciation. This is the EX HEX. It's from Erin Sterling. And of course, I've read it during spooky season. This is a Halloween romance. 9 years ago, Vivian, a young witch, had her heart broken. And one night she mixed alcohol and magic and cast a curse on her ex. The thing is that she didn't plan on it to come true, but it came true. 9 years after this event, her ex, Reid, has to come back to Grave Glen, the city, to perform something on the city because his family are the founders, and he realizes that once he got into the city, his magic has gone completely out of control because of course of the curse. It causes chaos in the whole city. The story is about Vivian and Reid having to team up to actually find a way to break the curse. I've really loved it, and I can only recommend as well. I think all the books I'm gonna say I can only recommend. Look at this beautiful cover! So, the next one is The Bribe by Devney Perry. The story is about Lucy, who is a big country star in the music industry, but suddenly she disappears and flees to calamity. a small town, and she meets Duke Evans, who is actually the sheriff of the city. He tries to discover why this beautiful, rich woman is not getting out of the huge mansion she bought. Why is she not getting out? Why does she want nobody to see her? This is a romance, of course, and the whole story is about what are her secrets. And I really loved it. It gave me some country vibes, taking some time in the country, away from big town. We're finally up to our two last ones, and these are my Christmas reads. My first Christmas read was this one. It's a French one as well, Noël est une arnaque, but in English it's Christmas is a Scam. So this is by Tamara, Balliana. So we're following Clementine, this is a French name, who just arrived in a small city in France to start and open her coffee shop. And one day she wakes up with a huge sentence written in red in front of her coffee shop, and it says, "Christmas is a scam." People think she's the one who did that, and so she gets into a fight with a local in front of everyone at the Christmas market. The problem is that the next day this person is discovered and is dead at the Christmas market. People are kind of thinking she's the one who did it, but she did not, and she starts to investigate with her new friend, who is Devney. And so she meets Loris, who is a young police officer who's investigating on the case. And he's not really good with the fact that somebody who's not a police officer is actually investigating on the same thing as him. And so they decide to somehow team up to discover who did that, why they did it. Yeah, this is romance. This is Christmas romance. And actually that was a really interesting read. And the fact that there is murder and romance in the same book for a Christmas book was really interesting. This is Christmas is a Scam. And finally, my last book of 2024 is another Christmas read. It's Miracle at Silver Peaks by Marlene Eloradana. Same, this is a French one. We're following Maisie, who is the heiress of a huge Christmas empire that was built by her mother, which is called A Wedding for Christmas. And one day, Maisie decides to run away from her terrible mother, who decided to make her marry someone just for business and for money. So with the help of her best friend, she runs away to Silver Peaks, a small town, and it's to reconnect with the magic of Christmas. What Maisie doesn't know is that in Silver Peaks there is Jace, her ex, for whom she felt so much 5 years ago. And this is actually the magic of the book, like the whole city helps her reconnect with the Christmas spirit. It's a Christmas romance, and I really loved it. It was a good way to end my 2024. So this was my last book, and yeah. Also, thank you for watching. Give it a like or a comment, only if it's a nice one. Yeah, I guess I'll see you in another video. Bye!